If OK Boomer was a digital assistant like OK Google, what sorts of answers would it give you to certain questions? OK Boomer. Where's the nearest recycling center? We have trash cans. Apostrophe. Just throw it out the car window. The chain gang'll pick it up. Apostrophe. Holy shit, that's terrible. I love it. OK Boomer. Directions to 5th and Montgomery. We don't need a map. I know where it is. Wait a minute. Apostrophe. Oh my god. If I had a nickel for every time my grandma would flat refuse to give an address, because I know where it is. It had that tree in front that got struck by lightning in 92. Okay. So it's got a big dead tree in front. Oh no. The storm knocked it down. It's where it was. OK Boomer. Engineering job listings in my area. Job listings? You are just playing around on the internet. Figure out where you want to work and go down there. Ask to speak with the manager. Shake his hand. Look him in the eye and ask for a job. Edit. This post brought to you by painful memories of job hunting during the 2008 recession. My dad was getting on my case every day about playing on the computer when I was checking job sites and going through their infuriating sites that make me upload my resume. Then fill in fields that are on my resume 3 different times. Someone in the comments below dropped the classic pound the pavement, and I felt my blood pressure spike. Thanks. Didn't work. Couldn't get bussed in through the security door. Also the manager isn't on site and works remote from another city. Also they don't hire directly, so you have to apply to the staffing agency first. Also the position advertised through the staffing agency isn't really open because they've already selected someone internally and only posted it to meet regulations. OK Boomer. It didn't work. Couldn't get bussed in through the security door. Also the manager isn't on site and works remote from another city. Also they don't hire directly, so you have to apply to the staffing agency first. Also the position advertised through the staffing agency isn't really open because they've already selected someone internally and only posted it to meet regulations. OK Boomer, you are just making excuses. Apostrophe. Ugh, literally the very response I get from my mother and grandmother. OK Boomer. How's the weather today? Open the window and stick your arm out. Is it wet? That must mean it's raining. Is it cold? Put on a sweater. Try figuring out things on your own, kiddo. Apostrophe. This is the nicest boomer reply just cause he said kiddo. I'm in my early 20s and I use kiddo. Am I a secret boomer? The council will get back to you with the verdict. We find the defendant guilty. OK Boomer. Open YouTube. How? Can you show me? Always quickly followed up with, oh. I know how to use computers. I knew how before anybody else did. I'm not dumb, you know. As accusatory as possible for absolutely no reason when you have fixed the problem in under 2 minutes. OK Boomer. What's on TV right now? We only watch the news and Wheel of Fortune in this house. Apostrophe. No Jeopardy? Shame. OK Boomer. What's the weather like? Why don't you go for a walk and see for yourself? Back in my day, we didn't even have weather. Obligatory walk down the driveway to school in the snow, uphill both ways, barefoot, on broken glass. OK Boomer. Call my husband only if you tell me when I'm going to get grandkids. It's about time. OK Boomer. How can I pay for college? Write a check like I did. I once got in an online debate with my uncle about this very subject. His argument was that he worked a minimum wage job to put himself through college and support his family. So we youngsters should quit complaining. To prove my point, I calculated how many hours it would take at current minimum wage just to pay current tuition at his alma mater, and it was over 100 hours per week. He was so angry that a year and a half later he still had the date of that argument memorized and cited it as an example of my disrespectful attitude. Millennial. Proves a point using math. Boomer. Stop disrespecting me. When you're being disrespected by mathematics, you know you're ducked. OK Boomer. Volume up what? You wanna become deaf? Don't sit so close to the TV. It will ruin your eyesight. OK Boomer. Wake me up at 6 o'clock, wakes you up at 5 o'clock, get up. It's 6 o'clock. Okay boomer. How's the weather today? Alexa, no. You're supposed to answer me. Alexa, are you listening? I can't tell if it's listening. Do I start talking yet? I think it stopped. Directions to this address. Alexa. Okay boomer. Play today's hits. That is not music. Okay boomer. What time is it? What? You don't know how to read a clock. The future is doomed. Apostrophe. Now the boomer answer would be time for you to get a watch. That's a dad answer. Not just limited to a certain generation. Okay boomer. Take me to the nearest formal sit down place. Okay snowflake. Starting your route to Applebee's apostrophe. Survivor fans love that. Karishma's favorite sit down restaurant is an awesome tagline for Applebee's. Okay boo, by your age I had a house, car, and 50k in savings. You need to stop asking for handouts. My mom told me when I was 26. I was married and had a house when I was your age. Cool mom. How much student loan debt did you have? Okay boomer. What's the capital of Iraq? Back in my day, we looked things up in an encyclopedia. Damn millennials. So obsessed with their phones. Apostrophe. Do you even know how to use a card catalog? Okay boomer. What's a card catalog? You'd know if you'd ever been to the public library in 1974. They probably have some kind of Twitter ML thing now. Okay boomer. Restaurants nearby. We have food at home. The nearest Cracker Barrel is only 6 miles away. My parents, prime boomers, drove from Tennessee to Washington State. They routed to as many Cracker Barrels as possible. They're confused and sad that there isn't a single one within driving distance of Seattle. They also insisted on driving an hour north of Seattle to go to Walmart for some random shit that was readily available nearby. They're categorically insane. This sounds less like boomers specifically, and more like they are just unworldly southerners. Okay boomer. Can you please autofill my credit card details on this site? What? You want to give your details to a stranger? Are you nuts? Just go drive a half an hour to the store and buy it in person. It's safer that way. Proceeds to download malware that gives all bank info to Eastern Europe hackers. Or give their info to the nice Saudi prince who wants to give me an inheritance. Okay boomer. Look up therapists near me. Have you tried thinking positive thoughts? Well, have you? Back in my day, we used to pull up our bootstraps and grit our teeth. Young folks these days don't even know what's going on in your heads. The fact that boomers don't understand the meaning of pulling yourself up by the bootstraps never ceases to aggravate me. What does it mean? Genuine question. Edit. Thanks for the definitions. I'm clear on the meaning now. If I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be a joke or like purposely poor advice, as pulling yourself up by your bootstraps would achieve basically nothing in most scenarios, even figuratively, as you wouldn't get very far. Okay boomer. Open my mail messages. I'm sorry, there's no mail delivery on Sundays. I'm sorry, that part is very uncharacteristic of boomers. Okay boomer. Tell me a joke. You snowflakes get offended over everything. You can't even take a joke. Okay boomer. What did you say, you little shit? Initiating boomer protocol. What? Remember, no human. Okay boomer. Execute order 66. Technically, if ANH takes place in 1977, all of the clones born 20 to 30 years earlier, in 1947 to 57, would be boomers. So you're not wrong. Okay boomer. The job market is so competitive. How can I get a job? Yeah, just need gumption. Proceeds to talk about how they got a job from just walking in and demanding it. Instructions unclear. Police had to drag me out of the reception area. Instructions unclear. Bootstraps pulled all the way up to ears. Okay boomer. Remind me to take my medication. You don't need that stuff. Just snap out of it. Having a seizure. Just get off the floor, you idiot. This is absolutely hilarious. I can picture some kid having a seizure as a boomer reprimands him for it. Dumb kids, this is what happens when you play those video games and download all those viruses from AOL. Okay boomer. Open Indeed. You don't need Indeed. Just walk on in and give a firm handshake, you entitled brat. And while you're at it, you can send out resumes in the mail. I bet you don't even know what stamps are you avocado toast eating millennial. Okay boomer. Show me job application links. Here are the addresses of nearby offices with job listings. Their office hours are 9 to 5. So show up at 8:30 and expect an interview. Apostrophe. Okay boomer. Set my alarm for 9 AM tomorrow. 9 o'clock. Are you sure? I see in your calendar that your flight boards at 10:30 and taking into account how it takes 30 minutes to get to the airport, that only leaves you with 1 hour to make it to your gate in time. Why don't I set your alarm for 5 AM instead? Or maybe 6 o'clock? If you really want to sleep in. Hey. That's no boomer. That's me. An older millennial. Unless. Deep down. Oh no. Don't worry. I'm also an older millennial and I thought. Boomers got a point there. Apostrophe. Okay boomer. Which radio station should I listen to? Doesn't matter. Music nowadays is all trash. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.